Diplomat and author Pawan K. Varma launched his latest book, Adi Shankaracharya, Hinduism's Greatest Thinker, at National Centre for Performing Arts, Nariman Point, Mumbai. The book was launched by poet and lyricist Gulzaar, following which the author was in conversation with Anil Dharkar, writer, founder and director of Mumbai International Literary Festival. Adi Shankaracharya is an extensively researched read that not only answers the questions that have been lingering in modern minds in and around Hinduism, but also provides a philosophical basis to it. This book journeys through a short-lived 32 years of life of Adi Shankaracharya, who revived the faith and created a path that diverges from the mainstream worship.
Well, if anybody were to make an analysis of trying to find a single theme in the books I've written, it would take a considerable period of time. Because my first book was a biography of Mirza Ghalib, after which I did a book on the Havelis of Old Delhi. This is my 22nd book. So,
that's what I was saying.
Then I wrote on Krishna. Then I wrote on the great Indian middle class, being Indian, becoming Indian, Chanakya. I wrote, the only novel I wrote is being made into a Bollywood film. It's called When Loss is Gain. I've translated Gulzaar Sahab, Kefi Azmi, Atal Vajpayee. I've written a book on the Kama Sutra. So there have been many books. And I think essentially there is a search to try and understand different aspects of which we are legatees. As Indians, not necessarily as Hindus only, because my subjects deal with India as a whole and what is happening in India, at least my contemporary books. And you will be surprised, Anil, even Ghalib was written from the point of view of understanding his times as much as understanding his poetry. So in that space, this book, or rather Adi Shankaracharya, fascinated me for 2 or 3 reasons, which I was mentioning earlier this evening. Firstly, his life itself. A man born in the 8th century in Kerala, in Kaladi, who takes Samadhi in Kedarnath and travels the length and breadth of this land by foot not once but twice. And in the scope of that very short life of only 32 years, sets up the 4 mutts or monasteries which draw up the civilizational map of India as it was and it remains today. Sringeri in the south, Dwarka in the west, Puri in the east, and Joshimath in the north.
He even goes to Srinagar.
He goes to Srinagar and writes copiously. The third was, as you go into Advaita, the Vedantic school of thought, and it's not the only school of thought in Hinduism. That in itself was a discovery which I'd like to talk about. But if you go into the Vedantic school of thought, the sheer compressed cerebral energy in trying to understand who we are and what is this world about. It's a question all of us, in moments of reflection or when we pause from the avalanche of municipal concerns that rule our life, when we pause or think, it's a question that confronts us. Why? To what avail? To what goal? To what purpose? To what end? Is there anything beyond the contingent, the immediate, the qualified, the conditioned? Or is there something more? And what is fascinating is that in large parts of Hindu philosophy, they are not Srishti Chintaks. They are not examining the empirical world. Adi Shankaracharya and many others were Paramarthik Chintaks. Their concern was not with God, their concern was what could possibly be the ultimate truth. What could be the absolute reality? And what is our place in it? That is why I often say that of the 6 systems of Hindu philosophy, 5 are technically atheist. They are not talking about Ishwar. They are talking about, once again, the Paramarthik Chintaks, great thinking. So there was this philosophy. And lastly, and if I may just answer your question as I say often on TV debates, in 30 seconds more. Lastly, I felt there is a need today. There is a need today for Hindus, as they face a new form of aggression in the religion, as they face self-appointed evangelists who say this alone is Hinduism. It is important for them to explain to them the profundity of thought that underpins this religion. The sheer size of the canvas that defines the power of original thought, Maulik Soch, that underpins Hinduism. The dialogic nature of this religion, its eclecticism, its inclusiveness, its ability to debate called Shastra, it's important to understand all this. And I thought the best template to do that was to go to one of its greatest minds, Adi Shankar.